Roughly 50% of my revenue.
That's a huge hit.
That's a massive hit.
Not far from Jim's farm, we
Oh my God. Oh my God.
为促进世界和平、稳定、发展做出更大的贡献。
We want to have as many bees as we can to make honey.
At Secret Garden Bees, a honey farm in Linden, North Carolina, farmer Jim Hartman has one eye on his bees and the other on his bank account.
Ideally, we'll get 100 pounds of honey per hive per year.
How do you feel about paying more for things?
Well, you know, if you find someone who says, I'm happy about paying more for something, you point them out to me. People who already couldn't afford fresh vegetables, who couldn't already afford to put good food on their plate, are the ones that are really going to be hurt by this.
Did you ever think when you voted for President Trump that things were going to cost you more and you were going to lose money?
I never thought I was going to lose this much money, this fast.
Jim is a Republican who voted for Donald Trump 3 times.
How do you feel about your vote for Donald Trump now?
Well, I feel like perhaps I should have considered some other options.
Among other things, Jim imports packaging supplies for
I'm sorry, hard to not. This hits like crack, dude. Like, bitch, you voted for him thrice, you know? Fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice. Well, can't fool me again. Fool me 3 times, fuck the peace sign. Take the chopper out. Or whatever the fuck he said. Not GW, I'm talking J. Cole. Did you say white? You said I'm white for not knowing a J. Cole lyric? The fuck? Knowing the J. Cole lyric is a infinitely whiter trait than not knowing it.
for his honey, so he's paying real close attention to the tariffs Trump just put in place.
We just bought our year's supply of bottles from Taiwan and our year's supply of corks from Portugal about 3 weeks ago. So that would have been, another 5,000 or 6,000 out of my pocket.
Which is partly why he's repairing instead of replacing this 40-year-old forklift.
The cost of equipment has just gone through the roof to buy anything like that because it just would be cost prohibitive.
He's also holding off on improvements around the farm.
Well, we're not going to hire any more people, that's for sure.
It's more than just the tariffs. For the past 2 years, Jim has been selling honey to the federal government, which then provides it to schools and food banks. But after Donald Trump took office, the USDA cut those programs suddenly as part of the federal government's effort to streamline spending.
For a lot of other local farmers around here, it was a major source of reliable revenue. For me, it's going to cost me around $150,000 a year.
$150,000.
Yeah, roughly 50% of my revenue.
That's a huge hit.
That's a massive hit.
Not far from Jim's farm, we
Oh my God. Oh my God. Bro. Oh my God. That's fucking hilarious. Dude. Oh, come on. This hits good. This hits good. After all the fucking awful shit. After all the awful shit that we just watched, like, this kind of hits, this hits like crack cocaine. You know what I mean? God damn. I've yet to meet a man more deserving of this. I just wish there was a way to make only this happen. You know what I mean? For every dollar out of the $150,000 that that guy loses, though, there's like a million other people that are fucked over way worse. There is something hilarious about being a guy who relies on federal government subsidies, voting 3 times for a dude who goes, I'm going to take away the subsidies. No more government handouts. It's like your fucking uncle living in West Virginia who's getting disability payments being like, I hate these fucking welfare queens. Like, it's like, dude, you are the welfare queen. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you voted for Trump. He's gonna take your disability away. You're fucked. You're gonna die. You might as well get back on fentanyl now because you're fucking cooked, big dog. Might as well get right on that opium straight from the fucking street because you're going to fucking die anyway because you voted for a guy who wants to kill you. What are we doing? You're not part of the team, little bro. You're not. What made you think you were a part of the team? Oh, because he's going to do this to brown people? No, he fucking hates the poor, dumbass. And you are one.
Found other Trump supporters who give the president high marks on tariffs.
How do you feel about the tariffs?
Well, I feel like for years we've been getting ripped off, and why not make it fair? 0-0. And I think Trump was upfront about it. He said we're going to hurt some now.
I think some of the countries they're already starting to come around. It's going to be good. I really believe that.
Yep.
No. I try so hard not to be libbed up and be like one of those people that's like, well, you're suffering and you kind of deserve it. But goddamn, these kinds of pieces make it impossible, dude. It's just, I want this analysis almost exclusively from Asmongold chatters. Like, I want some journalists to go up to Asmongold chatters and be like, so what do you think right now? It seems that the hentai that you consume is now either A, illegal in the state of Texas, or B, tariffed out the wazoo. How do you feel? He's like, oh, well, one day it's going to be all right because America's going to be good, I think. Yeah, boys.
You have faith in Trump?
Yes, I do.
I think he's doing the right thing. In order for us to get back where we need to be, he needs to get the money somewhere, and they're charging us. Why not charge them?
Back at Jim's farm, though, still plenty of work.
What are you saying, bro? What? You've been alive for so many years, you haven't even been accidentally... You accidentally haven't even encountered the truth? How does this possible? These people are so easy to dupe, man. None of them know how tariffs work. None of them care to understand it. None of them care to understand the impact when it starts hitting their fucking wallets. Like, at least the small business owner kind of understands directly who's fucking him over, right? At least this business owner understands it. Partially because, $150,000 of revenue, which is 50% of his yearly earnings. Well, that's pretty significant. When that goes away directly because the federal government no longer has that program, you're like, okay, well, you fucked me. You fucked me big time. You fucking piece of shit. You destroyed my life. But for a lot of these other people, they're just going to see prices go up on everything, partially because of the tariffs and partially because of market competition, other companies, even domestically manufactured companies, are most likely going to increase their prices as well because they can get away with it. That's just how it works. Sorry, sucks to suck. God forbid we have any sort of regulation surrounding that thing. That would be communism. Can't have that. And I don't think they're going to understand who did this to them. They're not going to go, oh, maybe Trump's moves were responsible for my current financial predicaments. They'll just go, yeah, it's because he hasn't killed enough gay people or some shit.
He says raw honey is considered a luxury good, similar to organic vegetables. As prices rise,
I don't know what that's going to do to consumer spending.
Trump paused the majority of the tariffs for 90 days after we'd left Jim's farm. Jim told us by phone, it's flip-flopped so many times you can't take it to the bank. Who knows what it will be next week, adding, it seems like he's heard the American.
No, it'll just be unlimited xenophobia. Yeah, those guys are probably going to think, it's the Chinese. How dare the Chinese do this to me? I can see that. They'll blame China. God, people are so fucking stupid. I have no, I lose the remaining empathy that I have for these motherfuckers. Read if you can. My uncle in West Virginia died on welfare, had an addiction to opium, was the cause of death. You're not wrong. Fucked up but true. Sucks, but this is the reality as people hits home. Yeah. The thing is, like, even for domestically manufactured goods, the way that global trade is designed, there are so many parts of the domestically manufactured goods that will have their prices increase because every aspect of trade touches different parts of the planet. Like, think about your computer for a second. Every business needs computer parts. Every business needs computers, okay? Just that alone. Think about what that does. Think about where your GPU, like all the different parts of your GPU come from. Think about all the different parts where your CPU, like all the parts, the components that make up your CPU, where that comes from. The minerals necessary that need to be extracted from different parts of the planet, assembled in a manufacturing plant in most likely China. The chips are made in Taiwan. Like, dude, there is no way to apply universal tariffs at 10% and not assume that even domestic goods are not going to go up in price. Everything will go up in price.
People. Randi, Kaye, CNN, Linden, North Carolina.
Everything's computer. Everything. I love Tesla. Everything's computer.
On volatility and uncertainty brought on by the trade war that we were just talking about. You know, you've got China announcing it's raising retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods from 84% to 25%. That coming after President Trump hiked the rate of Chinese goods, the rate on Chinese goods coming into America from 104% now to 145%. All of that, creating so much uncertainty, is having a real and immediate impact on businesses big and small across the country. One small business owner joined us on the show just yesterday describing how the daily chaos and the changes in policy have left her with no good options.
It's hard to make a decision. You know, we had an idea yesterday after the announcement of, well, maybe we can export to Australia, repackage the products, and then re-import them from there. But because policy changes every 36 hours or so, I don't want to make that decision and make that move only for something else to change in just a couple more days. I'm paralyzed. I can't even make a decision.
Yeah, I was surprised when this person said Hasanabi had confirmed and he said yes. I doubt that this person is actually Hasanabi head. Spencer Hakimian, founder of Tulu Capital Management, global macro market neutral, risk optimization, aiming for positive real returns in all climates, not investment advice. I think he's just like, I'd be shocked if this guy is actually in here all the time. I think he just says yes to people responding. He doesn't even follow me.
decision right now.
Paralyzed. Another big area of concern is what this means for American farmers, of course. China is, among other things, the biggest export market for American soybeans. China bought 52% of the American soybean exports last year, throwing American soybean farmers, understandably, into a whole new level of uncertainty right now. And joining me right now is Scott Metzger. He's a soybean farmer out of Ohio, also serves on the board of directors for the American Soybean Association. Scott, thank you very much for...
What do we do? The fuck do we do? So much winning. We'll never stop winning. I mean, look at him. He's fucking mad. He is big mad.
For waking up and taking time to speak with me this morning. This
smiling through the pain.
I was looking forward to getting your take yesterday afternoon, and now we have this new change overnight coming from China announcing 125% tariff on all U.S. goods coming in.
Yeah, I mean, look, these guys would probably get bailouts, but that's not going to be enough anyway. And you can't bail out the entire economy. What do you do for the consumers, you know?
Includes on soybeans. What does this tariff on this new level of tariff on your produce mean for you?
Good morning, Kate. Yeah, it's an alarming concern. You know, with the tighter farm economy that we're in now, the tariffs are just adding issues to problems that we already have. We want to. It's just making it more complex and making it harder to make decisions on what we need to do.
I've heard the word complex from a couple farmers actually as well. It's already a complicated situation, and now it's becoming even more complex. I mean, you're I believe a sixth generation farmer, farming with your brother and cousins. How does this moment feel for you?
Well, you know, we never have, going back to 2018. We really haven't recovered from the tariff trade wars back then, and you know we were probably 40% higher on soybean prices back then, and the farm economy in general was a lot better back then. So you go forward to now with what we are, and you know, a lot tighter farm economy, and complex, and adding these tariffs to it, it makes things really difficult. You know, a fear that we have, if this continues into the fall or even into next year, you know, there's a potential that, you know, there'll be some farms go out of business. You know, you could have a next generation not want to come back or not able to come back just because of the economies or the farm situation in general. And adding these tariffs to this, you know, there's just no room for error. But personally, in our operation in the state of Ohio last year, we were in extreme drought, and we roughly had half of a soybean crop and a corn crop last year. So in our area, it's feeling it even a little bit more. You know, having less of a commodity sale and these lower prices, and now we're throwing the tariffs on top of it. It just makes things very difficult.
And at the White House, in his cabinet meeting yesterday, the Agriculture Secretary spoke up, talking about, you know, if there's one thing, if people know, a group of people who know uncertainty would be farmers and ranchers. And I'm wondering what your ask, your plea, or just your message would be to the president in the midst of this, given your long experience.
Yeah, except this uncertainty is not born out of like famine or something. You know what I mean? It's born out of the unpredictable president. This is straightforwardly as man-made as it gets. First, the FDA made soy the 9th major allergen, and now this. Bro can't catch a break, Lamau.
And what you guys are facing.
Yeah, we urge the administration to just to quickly couple the announcement with some negotiations to address the tariff and non-tariff barriers with the U.S. exports. We want.
Oh my God. An alert from U.S. Customs and Border Protection on Friday notified user of a glitch in the system that is used to exempt freight from tariffs, including shipments from China that were already on the water at the time of this week's whipsaw in tariffs policy, and any trade from nations now under the 90-day pause put in place by the Trump administration. The alert explained that U.S. Customs discovered that the entry code for U.S. shippers to use to have their freight exempted is not working, and the issue is being reviewed. In the alert, Customs advised filers to transmit cargo release separately and follow up with a summary filing when resolved. Normally, when a U.S. importer pays for their freight, they file both the cargo release forms and their financial papers so they can pay for the cargo. To keep the cargo moving, Customs is advising importers to file the cargo release form now and file the financial form later once the glitch is corrected. For now, that means the tariffs are not being collected by the U.S. government.